Okay, as we're introduced to the southern colonies today, the last region out of the three that we're looking at as part of the original 13 colonies, let's take a look. We're going to look at a few maps today. So this is the first one we look at. We kind of took out a piece of the larger map, and the southern colonies has the most colonies in it with a total of 5. From north to south, we have Maryland, which is this funny colored one, and right here, there's a little chunk taken out. That would be where Delaware would be, but Delaware is part of the middle colonies. So we start with Maryland and then Virginia, which is one of the first colonies that we learned about. And when we learned about it, Virginia was huge, and since then it's been divided up into North and South Carolina, which started as one colony and then split into 2. And then last but not least, the last colony to be added to the 13 colonies is Georgia. Familiar? We looked at it when we started learning about the colonies, and we peeked at it a couple times since. If you look over here, you have colonists from many nations. So if we look at the map key, okay, this here tells us what countries the people are from, all right? And so if we go down here to the southern colonies, which is the countries that we'll be looking at, oops, I accidentally left off Georgia. Let me fix that. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. We want to include Georgia. We're going to cut off Delaware right there and across the top of Maryland. And there's our southern colonies. We do pretty much have a mix of mostly everything here, except there's no real mix of Dutch down here because the Dutch are up here where they started a colony in New York. So down here, we have a lot of the yellow, which is mostly English, and we also have something that we haven't seen above, and that is this, okay? The dots, and you'll see the dots along here, and you'll see the dots along here. The dots are enslaved Africans, over 30% of the local population. So in the southern colonies, we have over 30% of the local population as slaves. That doesn't mean that because there's not dots in these other areas that they're not African people who would come over, or that there are not slaves who would come over. It just means in that other area at this time there is not more than 30%. So a third of the people living there would be slaves where those dots are. Now if we take a look at our map here, this is the religion, okay, in the colonies. And you'll notice that if you look at the southern colonies again, and let's chop off Delaware there, okay, that we are mostly this color, or they are mostly this color in the south, okay? And that is Anglican. Anglican is the official religion of the Church of England. So what that lets me know is most of the people living in these colonies were part of the official Church of England. So they probably, most of them weren't running away for religious freedom. However, if you look at the different colored crosses, like here and here, okay, and here, we do have some other religions mixed in. They're just not the official religion of the colony. So if I look at those, I notice one here. We have Roman Catholic up in Maryland, okay, and we have what looks like the darker cross, Presbyterian, and then that slightly lighter one here looks to be Lutheran. Of course, it's hard to tell because they're not different colors on this map. But we have a little bit of a mix of religions, but mostly we have the Anglican religion, which is the religion of the Church of England.